Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a good night. There's like a bunch of sirens going off and stuff. Give me 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. I had to use the restroom. Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a good night. I was having a moment earlier because I was just sitting back watching Dracula scratch and scratch, and back when I was working, I was able to take him to the vet. Anything that was going wrong, and with him and Aphrodite dealing with these fleas and Flash, you know what I'm saying? Just watching them being tormented, and because I've given them baths and I keep trying to pick them off, but and so I was sitting there kind of complaining because what I did was I finally gave each of them one more bath, and my ex, she went and got those flea bombs I was talking about, so I finally put them in the basement, set everything up, let the flea bombs off, and I sat outside for a couple hours. Then I aired the house out and let them back up. And when I picked the cat up, there was a couple fleas just from picking them up on my socks. And I've been trying to be extra careful. Bathe every night, just because it's manly out here with the couches and stuff. But in the midst of me sitting there complaining, thinking like, man, what am I gonna do with this problem? I ran across a man named Machine God Eats, and he was talking about I guess it was recent. He just recently started doing the outside life, and he's got a job, but he was just explaining how hard life is. He was like, even if he got an RV or a car, he's got to pay for the tags and back taxes and all sorts of stuff, and he owes his kid's mom back child support. But what really made me mad is when he was talking about paying it back, he's talking about how they're charging him interest and stuff. And when I was dealing with the IRS, they didn't cut me a check for almost a year when dealing with all this stuff, and they were talking about interest that they'd owe. But when I got it, they didn't pay me any interest. The point is, I'm sad that he's dealing with that, but I'm thankful that he's a testimony because, man, every time I see people that have to live outside, or every time I see people that's homeless or dealing with stuff, man, talking about how people letting them in and use the shower, and I'm complaining because I gotta use an extra shower and shit for the fleas. It's just like no matter what happens in life, it's like always more and more, man. These fucking politicians arguing on TV. Trump playing a hoochie mama, and they just arguing back and forth and shit, man, during this debate. And people are fucking, I'm sorry, I can't help it. And people are fucking starving to death, man. And then I was listening to these African people talk about why they're upset with African Americans because they don't truly know what's going on. And I'm sitting there talking about racism, and they're trying to find water and shit, man. It's like, what the It gets so stressful. It's just so much pain everywhere, and our jobs could be making things better and fixing the world, but it's just constant fighting over stuff that doesn't matter, man. This man's happy with his bike, and he's going back and forth to work and sleeping in parks and shit. And I'm complaining about my cats, man. I'm telling y'all, so many people lose their lives in vain. Whenever you think that you can't move on, or you don't think that you have enough strength, I'm telling you, somebody else is going through something, man. I promise you they are, and they could be the strength you need. And then all these jokes about the cats and dogs and stuff, man. Like, real talk, the energy they used to say stupid stuff. The amount of energy that I said before in a video that it would take to catch animals and skin, like wild animals, man, you could get dollar noodles and dollar be like America is odd. I don't understand some of the stuff people do and say. Now I guess Elon Musk said it again. He posted something on Twitter about Taylor Swift. It's just like people can't get enough, man. I mean, million and billionaires could be changing the world. And Kendrick Lamar, man, I try to stay out of like a lot of hip hop and shit that's going on, brother. But I can tell you, I don't know where you people are from, or what people are teaching people. But I had a teacher, and I've experienced this a couple times, that desecrated that American flag. And I don't know what you finna do at the at this halftime show, Kendrick Lamar. But I'm warning you before you do anything. Jay-Z likes to set people up. A lot of people do in this industry. I call them corporation plants. Whatever you finna do at this halftime show, please do not desecrate these people's flag. These people claim to be Christians, but they idol so much stuff in this world. And I've seen a teacher get death threats because she proved a point with an American flag. I'm just warning you, Kendrick, bro. Somebody setting you up for the okie doke because I know you don't bow to nobody and you got your own fiery thing going on, man. But listen to somebody who has lived around a very Caucasian part of America. So outside of all that, man, bro, like the orphans and the starving children and the starving people and the homeless, like inflation has to be fixed because inflation affects housing, healthcare, food, everything, man. And the I'm seeing y'all do something petty every time Republicans lose. Y'all increase gas prices and make all this weird shit go up. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's like a bunch of grown ass rich people playing with poor people's lives, man. Like, because in the Hunger Games, at least they knew what was up. And in this real world that we live in, people are so fucking shady and they pretend not to be. So, man, just a special shout out to the homeless, man. And the people dealing with mental illness and the people that are starving, man. Every time I think I have problems, my eyes get opened. And I'm reminded, like, man, just stay strong because you have no idea what these people going through. And you really don't got nothing to complain about. But one thing I did notice, and I never paid attention to this before. You know, my dad grew up in a bad time. I mean, many people did. We all grew up in times, good times and bad times. But you know, my grandma had a home, and my grandpa was in the military, and she was in the military with on my dad's side. But then you look at my mom. So, you know, my dad, he grew up in a home in Chicago. And my mom, you know, her side of the story, the irony is that's like more of the white side of the family. And with my great grandpa, which the African side, I'm not even gonna play, but my great grandpa that came over here from Germany or Poland, wherever he came from, dude, man, they was living in people's garages and in housing and in ghettos. I grew up in Outgo Gardens, man, for the first part of my life, the streets of Chicago. And you know, a lot of times people tell me all the time, Juannie, you not about that life. Juannie, you soft. Juannie, your mama did. And real talk, like you'll see people claiming to be gangster, but they're not gangster. Like that whole 8 Mile thing with Clarence and his parents. But me personally, I'm literally from the field. I saw a drive-by as a baby. People look at me and they think, oh, suburbs, they have no idea about me. I'm an anomaly. I'm from the gutter of Chicago. Once my dad met my mom and started to raise a family, yeah, he was in them apartments and he was dealing with all that. But my dad had a good home. My mom did too at first, I think. According to the stories I hear, but yeah, I'm from the gutter. When I see people like I'm from the hood, I'm from and all that stuff, it infuriates me it makes me mad. Because I've seen people dealing with this stuff. I've seen people getting shot at and killed. I've seen all this crazy shit. So when I moved to Bloomington and Normals and different spots like that, they could be like, Money, you not about that life, you not, but nobody is. None of them are. If I was like my original nature from the neighborhoods I was from, y'all wouldn't like me. Y'all wouldn't like Ye Hannon. Y'all wouldn't like Juannie. That's the irony of the situation. Another crazy thing I was just thinking, and this isn't crazy, this is logic. You go and listen to most people around the world, Americans are educated. They say we're not, but a lot of real Americans are educated. We have a school system. A lot of people don't. And their school system is very low. Man, real talk, this man that was homeless, that was talking about how he gets to and fro to work and all this other stuff, the irony is in America, they make African Americans look silly or foolish or uneducated. But that man who is dealing with homelessness is more educated than half these people I've seen in other countries and people in the news and politics. You see people getting stuck all the time, sounding like bots. Yeah, people have stuttering problems and stuff like that, but I'm talking about people that are looking for it. Because what they do in the media and stuff, and what a lot of people do, especially politicians, they'll look for huge, brilliant words. They'll say a sentence of words that don't even make sense or matter, just to make it sound enlightening. when in actuality they didn't really say anything. And that's the problem with most of the world. Many people aren't saying anything or things that matter. What they're doing is harming each other for money. And all these people at the end, they all do the same thing. Oh, first it's vain, I don't need no money, God this, God that, blah, 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 blah. Then when something's happening, or not, I don't need money, they're like, I don't need God, and blah, 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 religion, blah, blah, blah. Then whenever something's happening, oh my goodness. So, the vanity of it all, man. I'm really appreciative for everything that I have, and I'm thankful. And though I may have had a lot of stumbling blocks this year and within the last few years, sometimes we're reminded like we really don't got it as bad as we think we do. Sometimes we'll think our family is a bad family and really cold, or our family have done things to us. And man, you have no idea. There's people that sell their children for drugs. There's people that do a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not coming to accuse drugs or anything before I start a movement of people hating people on, and trying to attack drug users and stuff. What I'm basically saying is I'm not teaching people to be drug users. What I'm saying is when we take away some of these accusations, because accusations need to exist. Sometimes people need accused of certain things. But the current state of the world, like first of all, inflation is kicking everybody's ass. We need to sit down and figure this stuff out. I don't see why we can't have a financial reset and re-lower everything and just have all the elites, all the government, everybody just come together and be like, oh, let's reset it. Because even if you have a reset, you're still going to be making money still. You know what I mean? You're still going to be that corporate whatever. It's just going to even itself out again. What you guys are trying to do is the prices of stuff, you'll make the prices of stuff go up. Then finally, when you increase pay, you'll make the prices of stuff go up again to counteract the balance, and that's not going to work like that, man. You're destroying. Because what happens with inflation, when you have poor but stuff don't cost a lot, the poor can get up to that. Once you have poor and people that don't have jobs and inflation has gone to the moon, then nobody can survive except the people that are up there still that can deal with those types of things. So I don't care what y'all listen to me about, you know what I mean? I do, but what I'm saying is help the poor and the homeless, man. All that I am and the retire all fire, refining books and also fuck all that. Help the hopeless, man. Help the homeless. Feed people. I'm seeing people showing videos of soup kitchens and feeding people and opening up establishments to help people and the homeless and all that. Man, listen to what I'm about to fucking tell whoever's listening right now. Especially if you're well off or have stuff. When I say well off, dude, if you have a job, a house, and all this other stuff, and a car, dude, listen to what the fuck I'm telling you. Because the problem with most of America is you guys will, like when I hear people complaining about the Affordable Care Act and having to pay extra taxes and shit, they'll have hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of a home, 2 cars, I gotta work every day. It's like, dude, then I'll see people that have to live on food stamps and can barely survive, and they're happy. It's like, what is going on? If you can watch me on your laptop or your phone or your TV, if you have a car to go to work, I don't give a fuck where you live, dude. These are things people wish they had. I'm telling you. What some people spend on a medical bill, some people won't make for 5 fucking years. And even if they do make it, they won't be able to see it because of all of their crippling bills. Imagine, you're making 50, 60, I'm even lowballing. Let's say you're making $50,000 a year and you're complaining. I was making $24,000 and was comfortable. There are people that are making more than me and a little less than me that can't survive. Because I am blessed. But other people, like, imagine if I was playing a video game. I'm not going to say my life was easy because, yes, I was blessed, but I got fucking smacked over the head with life. So, the problem is a lot of times what we do is we'll see our situation or we'll see another's and we compare and judge it. And we shouldn't do that in life. If somebody else's struggle helps you become stronger, that's a good comparison. And even if you want to help them once you realize you do have it better off, okay, that's beautiful. But this whole, I got it bad, you got it bad, we got it, it's like, dude, I brought this example up before. A lot of what divides the Africans and the African American community, Africans are like, we don't have food and water, but y'all have strong community and family and people that are building y'all up to be kings. African Americans, we might have food and water sometimes, but we get belittled at every fucking turn, no matter what we do. Some of the people that we consider homeless in this country, would be geniuses in other countries. I'm telling you, they would be. We're unevenly spreading the yoke. And the man in the video made a good point recently, and I shared him on my community tab if you want to reach out to him and watch his videos and give him some subbies. But he made a good point that a lot of times what's happening is that people will be so caught in the system that we think we need certain things. And yes, certain things we do need. But it's like the constant taxes, the new iPhones that come out, the constant this and that. It's like some people, not everybody wants to live up to that. Not everybody can keep up with that. You know what I mean? And so, like I was saying, sometimes just appreciate what you got, bro. And if you can't, I know everybody's got their journey because, like I said, there's rich people that have had worse lives than all of us. I promise you they have. We just don't know it. And because it reminds me of like a lot of the Aladdin lore or stories where like there's a poor kid that wants to be a sultan or king. And then you have a rich sultan that's like, hey, I want to be this poor kid for a week. The reason why that never really works out is because the poor kid always has the ideology, or the poor person or the king always has the ideology that they can come back to their life. And some people, the world don't got that. And so, but a lot of times what ends up happening is when that poor person has to go deal with the king has to deal with, they're like, oh shit, man, this fucking sucks. I'm not as free as I thought. I'm more enslaved as anybody else. But the problem is when the king finds out that the poor person life fucking is miserable, and sometimes when you look at the poor who are being enslaved and the rich that are enslaved, sometimes having all those commodities is better than not having fucking nothing. And so, you know, we just got to sometimes understand that nothing's better than... You look at a rich person who's lost everything. I mean, they might have money, but they might have lost a lot of other things like family or friends or many things. And then you look at a poor person who has a bunch of those resources but has no money. You know what I mean? It's like they both got their problems and life could be miserable for both. So we got to learn how to help each other come together. That's why I tell people, of course, you can have personal beliefs, but it's when we go outside the box and start attacking. This Rashad Crenshaw dude is so funny. I like his videos. I share him in my community tab too. But we're like, he made a good point where a lot of people aren't mad what they're mad about. He's like, he'll be talking to somebody and they'll bring up these wild talking points like, how do you feel about abortion? And what about Kamala doing this? And it's like, dude, you don't care about those things. You're letting somebody who is famous get you excited about something that you normally wouldn't give a fuck about. I call it Final Destination syndrome. When you look at like movies like Final Destination, it's Saw and all those movies where like people are super fucking vain. They're like, blah, 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 blah. Then when they're like trying to get their last breath of air or all this other shit, they not thinking or worrying about none of that other goofy shit that they were worried about. There was one scene in one of these movies where this one chick was like, I don't give a fuck about nothing. I don't care if I live. Which I don't, she had lost her son. And which, you know, I don't, but when you lose somebody, it's hard. But at the moment when she was about to get, she's like, please, I don't want to go out. I don't go out. I just want my children. So it's like, I'm telling y'all, some of the stuff I hear men get mad about and women get mad about in these political arenas, in these economic systems, and these just anywhere. It's like, stop. Knock it off. And I'm warning you all, you guys keep saying, why don't African Americans try? Why don't we get out the ghettos? Why don't we apply ourselves? And I'm hearing a lot of Africans say it because of Black Lives Matter. They're saying we had no fucking idea you people had it like this over here. We don't see the side of America. Tell me, Black Lives Matter is a good example. Us saying our lives matter, they turned into terrorism and hate speech. Remember? I'm telling y'all, anything we create, the man that was actually dealing with the streets and stuff, the one who I just shared my community page, Machine Eats God or Machine God Eats or something like that. He made a good point that, and I've been making this point too, that people just want to steal your worth, your idea. It's almost like an idea or a system. Just us existing is revenue. What does everybody say? The American dream, the American dream, the American citizens love it here. So in order to have that ideology, you have to have us existing, making it look pretty over here, bowing to their every will. But now that people can see that's not what it is, now the true nature of the truth can get out there, and the true people who are being harmed can actually rise and fix the world, if that makes sense. So I love you all. Do you guys think India used to always look like that with the street vendors in Afghanistan and all that and how they eat and stuff? They had big. Look at Russia. You see all these places with the czar looking places with the swirly tops like ice cream cone building tops. That's how most of the world looked. Beautiful places until Europe and a lot of these places. And I'm tired of people saying it was long from. No, it's Europe and Semitic people. From what I have in history, they fucked the world up. So all these churches talk about you're the anointed one, the Mashiach is coming. If I was y'all, I would start being a Mashiach and fixing the world. Because the one who I am, is really getting fucking sick of this shit. And if Trump and the Pope the Pope on my birthday, after I came out on March 17th, said that hell isn't real. And said a bunch of other fucking stuff and is trying to plaster the Ten Commandments in schools. When did any of this happen? After I came out. They will say he's John the Baptist resurrected. I'm not fucking playing. Fix the world. Help these people. Spread me so I can be a voice, so I can get to people's hearts and baptize their hearts. Because people have no idea what the Spirit is, and they're turning it into psychological hell. It's these religious people are irritating me to fucking fury. All this money they're generating, billions of dollars, sending it to Israel to murder people, is sending me over the fucking edge. This whole plaguing Pharaoh and hardening his heart to make it little fleas and shit with my cats and everything else losing jobs, piss me off if y'all fucking want to. Help save the world.